What's up, guys? Your boy Chef from Off the Dome back in with another video, and this is the wrestling edition of this because on Thursdays and Wednesdays we used to do wrestling videos around here, so these are my two wrestling videos for the week. So you got TNA and AEW, ROH, but forget ROH because ROH never got to that point that TNA did. The question has to be, why is AEW more successful than TNA when TNA was backed by a multi-millionaire, almost billion-dollar company with the Panda Industries, with Dixie Carter's father supporting it, and he had the support of Jeff Jarrett and his other investors. Now, many people say it's because of the setup, the way the rings are set up, the production value, etc. I can agree to an extent with that. But then you have to come with the quality entertainment. When you look at AEW, no offense, but the current stuff they're putting out isn't peak TNA stuff with AJ Styles, Sting, Kurt Angle, Christian Cage, Ron Killings, Samoa Joe, Abyss. These guys were the big heavy hitters. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christian. These were great matches. Sting. You had legends of every company coming here. ECW legends, WCW legends. Name recognition alone, Chris Jericho is basically the only one carrying it with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. But one legend versus 5 or 6 legends, usually you can't hold a candle. And when TNA went head-to-head with Monday Nights and then they had a Hulk Hogan deal, that's obviously when that fate was sealed because they realized they couldn't beat Monday Night Raw. They had a million ratings for share and whatnot, and they did do that thing. In 2010, it was already spoiled goods. But from the start, they never gained traction like that because it was a startup company in the South. Why is AEW being more successful now? Well, one is Dixie Carter and her father then come to later on the company once Jeff Jarrett needed some more financial backing and he was having problems backstage with multiple wrestlers and the Spike producers. But they did have the TV deal for one. Spike, I think, is available on, I think they said 76 million households at the time. Because remember, Raw was on Spike for a while. So Spike does have, Spike, you can't get viewers by being on Spike because Raw was on Spike for like 5 or 6 years. I think until 2007. Then he went back to USA Network. So the problem isn't Spike. That's one. Two, the ring setup really isn't a problem because it was the early 2000s. Camera quality and stuff wasn't as great yet, and they were in a smaller venue, but they were still an indie promotion. They did have more people coming in ROH. Not New Japan, but New Japan's not an American wrestling company. It's a Japan wrestling company. It's more than Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, all these other independent companies. So TNA was beating them there. It was on upward trajectory. I can't say nothing, man. Upward trajectory. They had the storylines. They had the talent. So why is AEW beating them out? Quite simply, AEW is probably beating them out not because of the star power. It's not even because of the quality of production. It's literally because it's 2019 and the youth generation, because you remember TNA, they came out in 2002, I believe, and their peak, in my opinion, the peak of all their storylines and stuff happened from 2006 to 2009. During that era, you already had enough wrestling in the 90s. They was tired of wrestling. They already had enough wrestling. WWE was the last one standing. People were fine with that. They didn't feel like even trying to search for anything else. AEW in 2019, it serves the need for the market. You have Cody Rhodes, who was a mid-card at best at WWE, which, hey, at least he made it. You have the Khan family that support the Jaguars, and now they support this. You have Chris Jericho, a multi-time champion and main eventer. You have Kenny Omega. You have Jake Hager come back. You have Jon Moxley. You have, Hangman. You have all types of people over there. I get it. But none of these guys are mainstream stars. TNA had all that. But the problem was, I guess they were sour because they were like, oh, TNA is the company that takes all the rejected WCW guys or ECW guys that didn't get to be with WWE, or they take all the WWE guys that tried out or got suspended or got fired, and they take them there. That's TNA's downfall. That's one. People already were tired of seeing ECW and WCW and WWE. They was oversaturated. Quality was declining of the shows, and the ratings were declining, and majority of companies didn't last to the 2000s. So when TNA had all these new talents that were basically from the failed promotions, a lot of people weren't peeping. A lot of people just said, I'll just watch Monday Night and SmackDown, and that's how it's going to be. Now that you have AEW, now you have the decrease of Monday Night Raw, and you have a very small fan base. Half of WWE fans, and some lapsed fans, and some fans that watch the independents and refuse to watch WWE, all these guys are saying, Let's try to make wrestling exciting again. Let's do the Monday Night Wars again. I know WWE doesn't see him as a threat, and no, AEW is not really a threat because they're just not, man. I mean, once a year or two goes, they're not going to be having shows that sell 15,000, within a day. That's the reality of it. It's something fresh, it's something new. It has multimedia coverage. Plus, you have social media as another aspect of it. All these guys from the indies that do these different stunts, the Joey Ryans, whatnot, they all went viral somewhere in the wrestling community. TNA they had chat rooms and whatnot back in the day, but there was no MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube presence yet. So the online wrestling community was there, but it wasn't as active as it is now. It might be less fans, but there's more online wrestling fans that interact with each other, even though they might not watch the show on a network or on Monday nights. So, in a nutshell, AEW just came at the right time by it being almost 2020. You have WWE, a product that has been disappointing fans since the PG era started in 2008. You have them actually having people from all types of brands, and they don't throw shots at WWE every episode. TNA was literally the show that threw shots at WWE every single chance they get. Every former world champion, every former person that got fired wrongfully came to TNA. We have Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson, Christian, R-Truth. We have all these guys here that basically were upper mid-carders in WWE and got dropped off. TNA stands the brand is getting the spoiled goods. It's like the chick that you're dating. It's like the chick that you have to date now that she's 35 instead of being 21. She was fine when she was 21. She had a whole life ahead of her. She had a nice body. She had smart. She just graduated from college. But she wasn't looking for you at that point. You didn't have anything to offer her and you weren't sexy enough and blah, blah, blah. So now that you're 37, she's 35, she's like, I need a family. I don't want to grow old and lonely, so I'll get with you. That's what TNA was. TNA was like, well, ECW and WCW don't exist anymore. We all hate WWE, so just watch our program. AEW's like, we hate WWE, but we don't hate them that much that we're going to mention them every episode. And we don't need every rejected person from ROH, New Japan, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and WWE. We have stars from each brand that we're going to build a base there. So that's all I got to say. AEW just came at the right time, and TNA unfortunately came right after the wrestling boom died off. Sometimes you have to wait till the fire's gone, and 20 years later, the fire is more than gone. Granted, your fan base is smaller, but at least you guys can share the same fan base, if that makes sense. TNA can't share a fan base with WWE because half the time, at that point, since WWE won, a lot of fans are loyal to WWE. So they were like, why watch the new guy or watch the losers that are now coming to the guy when we just watch the winner? Anyway, let me know what you think. This is your boy Chef from Off the Dome, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and bye.